Hello everybody. Today's my video talk is all about how can we change our schooling system. It has been a common concern for the majority of the parents, for majority of the social reformers and educationists as well, that they are deeply disappointed with the existing schooling system. Schools have become places of great trouble for children. Children, in fact, it's not an exaggeration to say that children are really feeling that when would we grow into as adults? When would we escape this trouble, torture, or harassment called schooling? It's a very sad state of thing. Schools should be a places of celebration. A school should be a place where childhood should be celebrated, where happiness comes first in the school for the child and then followed by learning. Unfortunately, majority of our schools have failed to genuinely serve the real needs of the children and contribute to the welfare of the society by gifting a beautiful set of tomorrow's citizens to the society. Let's think today, let's talk about our schooling system and the practices that we need to change threadbare in my video. First thing is that when people who come forward to establish an educational institution, whether it is individuals or a group of people, they should share the same values to establish a school. The motive behind establishing a school is to serve the people, give the society quality education, character building, and celebrate childhood and make people learn things while enjoying their childhood. Unfortunately, it's not an exaggeration to say that most of the private schools and other sort of things, I'll talk about government teachers as well. The private schools that are being established because to make quick money. So they see it as an easy business model to establish a school and make quick money out of it. Just sticking to the norms of the board, sticking to the norms of the regulating authority. If you run the school, if you run a show like running an education institution, we can make a lot of money. It's no wonder it's no wonder now we find in large numbers the correspondents of the schools moving in BMW cars and RD cars and becoming MLAs, MLCs, or trying to become this and that. It's not. It's very much visible. I need not say about it. But all this is happening at the cost, a colossal loss to the society. We grossly fail to find an institution that enjoys serving its children. Now, what can be done about it? So, this is one. And coming to government schools, 70% of the teachers want to become government teachers just for the sake of job security. If you take a sample survey kind of thing, ask 100 teachers, 80 to 90% of the children would say that we wanted a government job, and of course getting a teacher's job was a convenient one for us, and so we did our B.Ed and we became a government teacher. Very few of them are passionate, dedicated teachers who just love to become teachers. So that's the problem with government schools, where they take it for granted. Job security is there, that's all, the matter ended there. Coming to private schools, most of the private schools are running on a business model. What best can be done? Actually, when the right kind of people come together with a common motive that let's establish a school where happiness of the children should come first, safety and security of the children should come first, healthy growing of the children should come first, children's satisfaction should come first, and followed by parent satisfaction. Of course, I'm not against making money by establishing a school. People should not mistake about it. But you can make money by giving a world class quality service to the other people. Who wouldn't love a school where his child, or where his children uh, feel very happy to go and come back home and say that today we have had a wonderful day at school. And if they keep on telling every day, who wouldn't love to send their children to such a school? But unfortunately, most of the schools shut up the mouths of children and shut up the mouths of the parents in the names of, compliance to the board norms, school norms, rules, regulations, threatening, dominating, this and that. This is nothing but an injustice done to a section of people in the society. We need to change, and there are not. I'm not the only person who is talking about happy schooling experience. There are many people who are talking about happy schooling experience. Uh, in this point, I would like to raise one particular major point. Schools are meant for children. Schools are not meant for managements. Schools are not meant for principals. Schools are not meant for teachers. We are all facilitators there. Schools are exclusively meant for children, and schools should be built keeping in mind the taste of the children, the facility of the children, the convenience of the children, the happy learning spaces of the children, and of course, it should be built in such a way that children should feel at home at school. The total school structure building design it should be something like that. This is number one. So when we build a school, keeping children in mind and feeling that school belongs to children and all of us, all adults, I'm talking about management, I'm talking about principal, I'm talking about the school staff, I'm talking about the administration staff, all we are there to give a happy schooling experience to children. Children should own the school. This is point number one. Point number two, of course, children need a very good school with a spacious playground, of course very good ventilated classrooms, fantastic infrastructure, that should be there. But more than this one, let me tell you, we can even have a Shantiniketan model of a school. We can have an open community learning school also. But more than infrastructure, more than facilities, what I believe is that people's environment at school is very, very, very important. The media, the educationists, the enlightened people suddenly wake up and start talking about yeah, the school should be like this, school should be like that. Whenever incidents like Pradyumna in Rayan school kind of incidents happen, they talk about all these sort of things, and again after a few days the routine continues. But it should not be something like that. Second point I raised is a people's environment. What kind of people come together to serve the children? Now let me tell you, serving children is one thing and serving children with lot of love is another sort of thing. Suppose if you're a doctor and you just serve the patients, that's all, but you don't love them at all, so it becomes a mere duty to you. But if you love your, if you love your job, if you love serving the patients, if you have some kind of spiritual feeling that this is God's work for me, I'm chosen for this work, and let me do this work and let me enjoy this one. If the patient calls twice or thrice, any frantic calls by the parents or any sort of thing, that the doctor would come out of his skin to immediately attend to the call of the patient, and he goes all the way to attend to the patient's call, and this makes the difference between mere serving and serving with love. So is the case with the teachers. If we love children, if we genuinely love children, what happens? We teach children. In fact, I should use the word, we facilitate learning children and we love doing so. So, second point of thing what I say is this, that people's environment. We need to pick up such kind of teachers who genuinely, unconditionally love children and enjoy facilitating learning to children. This is very, 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 very important. And point number 3 is that teachers should always be unlearning as well as relearning, because we are serving a set of people who doesn't belong to our generation. They are a new generation. Their social conditions are different. The things that they are exposed to are different. and their feelings are different, and the times during in which they are living, the technology is rapidly changing, and their expectations are different. So what we are doing in the school is nothing but we are laying a strong foundation for a generation that should serve as a strong foundation till they reach 60 or 65 years. If the foundation is not strong, if the foundation is shaky, if the foundation is weak, no matter how gloriously we build the structure on that foundation, one day or the other day it collapses. So what I mean to say is that teachers should be ready to learn, relearn, understand the changed needs of the children of 21st century. It's not we actually very loosely define education as something, coming to the school and following the norms of NCRT, following the norms of CBSE, following the norms of SERT, following the rules and regulations. That's really very good, very good. That's professional part of sticking to other sort of things. But my question is that, has NCRT ever told you, in the name of rules and regulations, not allow children have a happy schooling experience? Has a CBSE ever told anybody that children, in the name of norms, rules, regulations, stipulations, should be confined within the four walls of the classroom? They should not enjoy their school, the days in the school, or they should not enjoy learning and other sort of things. In fact, the National Policy on Education 1986 and NCF 2005 and all Mudaliar Commission reports and all the latest reports on education, so many NGOs studies and so many individual studies, and of course UNICEF studies, all these studies say that schooling should be a happy learning experience for children. Now we are seeing children very much stressed out, too much of writing, too much of conformity to rules, and too long schooling hours. Oh my God, this is something very much against what we claiming as that we are running school very scrupulously as per the board norms and other sort of things. Now sticking to board norms doesn't mean that killing the children in the name of education. Now, let us talk clearly that education is a broad term which includes learning academic subjects, playing, learning music, dance, and of course children celebrating their free time, thinking creatively, and doing many different kinds of things that interest them. Point number 3. Schools largely insist on what you call, tests and test marks and other sort of things. There is an urgent need to enlighten majority of. I'm not saying that there are no good teachers. I'm not saying that there are no good schools. There are good schools. There are good teachers, but very few in number. Majority of the schools have become, as I earlier told you, that commercial entities. So their majority of the children are facing a lot of the problem, and most of the parents are deeply disappointed about it. Point number 3, what I want to talk about is the tests. Let teachers be made to understand it clearly. A test is a feedback to the teacher that how far her facilitating learning to the child has been effective. So primarily it's a feedback to the teacher that how far her efforts have yielded results in facilitating the child to learn the learning, what do you call, activity, or learning the concept, or learning the skill, whatever it is. In the same third point, second one thing, the test is a feedback to the child to come to know that in which areas he or she has to improve, where he or she has to seek help from the teachers, help from the parents, help from the fellow students. That's all. That's all about the test. And governments have never said that use the test as differentiate between one child and the other child, and talk about in terms of grades, that you have not got good grade and he has not good grade, do something like that child, do something like this child. And no board tells us to brand a child that you are a slow learner, you are an average learner, you are a high performer. Of course, we need to identify all those sort of things. Teachers record, teacher data need to have all those sort of things just to identify the challenge areas of the child and to put our efforts in that direction, but not to trouble the children in the name of test feedback and other sort of things. Sometimes I really don't understand till elementary stage, till as per RT Act, till first class to eighth class, there is no pass fail system as such, and it's all about inculcating quality learning in the child, and all children should be treated on par with the age level, stage level learning. That's what RT says. Even before 8th class also, schools emphasize so much on marks, so much on results, so much on grading, and so much on the sort of things. They confuse the parents, disturb the parents, saying that your child is not doing well, so that your child is not up to the mark, and if this continues sometime in the future, this is going to happen, that is going to happen, and he is not going to become a promising boy, a promising, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. We are actually not working on child to help the child, improve the child, and make the child a great person after growing. In fact, we are finding all faults, all mistakes of the child to prove that the child will grow as per our observation. Oh my god, this is something very bad. Something very bad. And parents also should understand school's duty is to help the children in the extent possible, but not to break and make them anyway as per their expectations. That's not correct. Children have different tastes, children have different abilities. No two individuals are alike. So this particular point, teachers as well as parents needs to understand, and all of them have to come together first ensure that child is happy at school. Now, education has so many things involved in it. As a principal of the school, I always laid emphasis on every aspect of schooling experience of the child. I strongly lay importance on washroom should be neat, clean and tidy. Why? Because I understand 8 hours or 7 hours or 6 hours children stay in the school, and their washroom, their restroom should be free from germs, mosquitoes and all kind cockroaches and all such kind of things. It should be neat, clean and tidy. I call it as part of education. And second thing is that I always emphasize that children should wash their hands with the detergent before they eat, go for lunch and come back, other sort of thing. Equal importance, as much as I attach importance to teaching and learning in the classroom, so much importance about washing the hands and feet. And I equally think that what happens within the four walls of the classroom alone is not education. So education takes place in the playground. I, in my earlier video, also said that education takes place in the playground. So what happens when children are asked to play organized games or self-invented games of their own kind? They learn socializing skills. They learn leadership qualities. They also learn the art of fighting for their right, and they of course also learn the let go attitude. If they fail, if they lose in a game, they cultivate the habit of let go attitude, and a social camaraderie builds in sports and games also. And sports and games are very important, and I believe that teachers should also uncondition their minds that a teaching job is not just restricted to going into the classroom, standing in front of the board, and teaching only, transacting the components of the subject matter. No, it is what I often used to say is that it is loving the children, living with the children. So teachers are also expected to go to the playground, join with the children, play with them, and of course relive their childhood once again. And that's the reason why this teaching job makes most romantic of all jobs. I'm not talking about monetary rewards, but in terms of sense of satisfaction. In no other job you can play like a child, but as a teacher, if you go to the ground and play along with the children, there's nothing wrong, nothing to be ashamed of. Children love their teacher very much. Why? Because the purpose that the teacher should play for the sake of the children, with the children, as I use the term, loving, living the children. And then third one is learning. So this way the school culture should be built, the organizational culture should be built. But what is happening in our schools? Teachers are put lot teachers are made to put lot of stress on only the examinations, completion of the syllabus, results, marks, grade. And when parents are called, what we put there in front of them is paper, some stupid papers talking all negative about the children, this and that sort of things. And finally we shrug off our responsibility that we are running a beautiful school. I just don't understand. This is, as I said, it's a crime against society. And parents too should understand, whenever they visit a school, they need to ask the school authorities or the teachers or the principal that, how is my child at school? Is he happy or is she happy? This is the first question they should ask the school authorities. So the child being happy at school is the first criterion. And almost all boards say the same sort of thing. We need not bend what the board says. We should not circumvent that one for the sake of our business needs. And they say that this is SCRT norm, this is CBSE norm, this is state board norm, this is that, this is that. We have enough of freedom to invent our own methods of making children happy, facilitate happy learning for them. And learning is nowhere else designed that it's only learning English, it's only learning mathematics, it's only learning social studies, it's only learning is science and something like that. Learning involves so many sort of things. When teachers can start teaching a lesson, of course involving children in a circle time activity, or of course they can dance for 2 or 3 minutes also. This is nothing wrong. So, and then taking them outside and making them sit under a tree, and open air classes, we call it as an open air classes. So it's beautiful sometimes, variety. Point number 4, all of us have to think about it. Most of the time we confine our education only from neck to head. It means that most of the time education, 80%, 90% of education is confined from here to here. It all relates to head. It all relates to thinking. We grossly ignore from this part of the body. So what I mean to say is that equal importance. So this part of the body is not given importance at all in the education. And somebody may be very much interested in dancing, and of course us together he may dance. So why should not we encourage a person to become an excellent dancer from a school? And why should not we encourage someone may be very much interested in an instrumental music, and why should not we expect our schools to gift a talented musician from the schools? Painting, drawing, skating, many different kinds of things. We can have champions in all fields. But 99% we are focusing only on what you call instruction, which we are calling as education. I don't believe that alone is not education. Point number 5. What kind of people's environment we need to have? This is very, 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 very important. Children actually come with their home experiences, limited exposure to the outside world. School is a place where they try to synthesize their internal world to the external world. Particularly primary and secondary stages of schooling experience is very, very important to shape the psyche or the personality of a person. Here, if anything goes wrong, it's a great damage to the life of a child. So what I need to is that teachers needed to be a little cautious, little spiritual. I'm not talking about religious. Little spiritual. Why spiritual? Most people misunderstand spirituality is something to do with rituals or something to do with religion. I'm not talking about that one. Spirituality is all related to your internal world. Why? Because we behave based on what kind of belief systems we have, and all these beliefs that we have, it manifests us into our behavior. If teachers' quality, teachers' behavior, teachers' effectiveness in dealing with the children, teachers' ability to get connected to the child in a positive way, teachers' impact on the minds of the children in a positive way, largely depends upon what kind of a belief the teacher entertains in her mind. This is very, very important. So, good teachers generally entertain good values, and what they think is that no matter what happens, good is good, bad is bad. So, some teachers, what they think is that, making the child happy itself is very important, no matter even if you allow some wrong sort of things to take place there. It's not customer service. We are working on the lives of children. It's not like any other organization where customer satisfaction is very important. It's not like that. Sometimes if the children do mistakes, we need to stop them from doing the mistake, and we need to retell them that this is not the way to be done, and we have to put all our efforts to stop them from doing such kind of mistakes, taking into parents into account, and help them to grow in a healthy way. They should not be misunderstood the other way. So there should be reorientation for the teacher. There should be some kind of internal, what is called, learning that continuously should take place, how to effectively run the school. So many changes are coming, so many innovations are taking place outside in many different fields, industries, business enterprises, sports, and other sort of things. Why won't we allow innovation to come into school? Why won't we allow to think on different lines, on modern lines in school? But why not? Why? Because we are conditioned that I'm a teacher, what I say you should listen. This is school, and school rules are school rules, school norms are school norms, and you can't talk against it. So we are closing the doors on the face of the people, and in fact we are entertaining. Of course, we are having a locked in thinking. Schools can change, our approach can change, our practices can change. We can become more open, discuss about the child's strengths and weaknesses, and put a matter of fact report in front of the parents and discuss them in what ways we can help the child. And we can even talk to the child, talk to the parents, saying that why are we running the school? If we clearly say to the parents that we are running the school to celebrate the childhood of the children, then I believe that 70 to 80% of the parents support our effort to run the school. They don't insist only on marks. They never talk about that I'm paying so much of fee and these many marks and my child is not doing in this. When we make a real time analysis of the child's time spent in the school, child's behavior, and child's responsiveness to the teaching learning process, teachers' efforts, and everything, we put it in a transparent way. Parents obviously know their children and they appreciate the school's efforts, and they join hands with the school to help the child grow in a healthy way, in a wholesome way. But this needed to be done in a patient way, in a skillful way, and some schools are doing this one. But again, teachers should also keep learning all the time. Why? Because most of the time they're in the performance zone. For example, let me tell you, if a doctor who graduated from a medical college start practicing but never keeps on refreshing his knowledge, that new kinds of microorganisms are coming, new kinds of diseases are coming, new kinds of bodies getting immunity against the antibiotics, and new kinds of research is going on. If he is not updating all the sort of things, and only whatever the knowledge he gained at medical university and other sort of things, same thing he keeps on applying, he can't be giving a quality service to his patients. Same is the case with the teachers also. If teachers are not updating, if the teachers are not checking their feelings, thinking, and the practices and other sort of things, are not ready to change them for a better result, simply only focus on performance in the classes, but do not focus on learning new things, new way of doing things, and new ways of thinking, school systems can't change. Again, I say that it's what kind of people who come together to serve the children is more important for the success of a school, rather than what kind of infrastructure we have. And let me tell you that once in one particular management I told the management, I don't know how that particular management took it. Most probably it might have taken in a positive way, because let us think about positive. स्कूल का कोई मालिक नहीं होता है. हम सब, I told the management, हम सब the correspondent, the principal, teacher, सब स्कूल के सेवक है. School belongs to children. School जो है बच्चों का है. So this is what I often used to say, and I don't know, because I can't penetrate into the mind of the other people and think that what they are saying. But if this is the spirit of the management, if this is the spirit of the principal, if this is the spirit of the teachers, and when we come to school and facilitate teacher learning process, I am using the word teaching learning process. I'm not saying that only teaching. Teaching learning is an interactive process, is a collaborative process where equal importance, 50% importance is given to the learner, And learners feedback is important, learners involvement is important, learners interaction is important, and teachers remodification remodeling is important. It's beautiful coming together to facilitate happy learning experience for the child. So the management should come together, the principal should come together, the team should come together. Now the another question comes, point number 5 or point number 6. So that how to find such kind of teachers who are equally passionate, who are equally eager and ready to pour their heart, soul, spirit into the job, and make child's life a celebration at school. We need to put effort. No, we need to organize internal orientation classes. We need to have no we need to have extension lectures. We need to have guest lectures from different areas who have put many years of quality service on children and contributed a lot in developing the school environments. Such kind of people's sharing ideas with such kind of people and taking feedback from them, such kind of things should keep on going. That is called as school improvement program. Unless we don't have school improvement programs for the teachers, we can't expect positive changes only by following instructions of the board, instructions of the government. And school should, the people who run the school should be very dynamic, very active, very resourceful, and very much ready to think innovatively, think differently, think out of the box, all for the sake of the child, all for the betterment of the children. So this is what I feel is the urgent need of the children. Second thing is that technology has come in to stay, and we all have to get ourselves adapted to the latest technology. And children also, because education has undergone a sea change, and technology embedded education has come in to stay, and we need to improve. There are some schools that are doing really well, but still a long way to go. Let us stop thinking that parents oppose our efforts. Parents, no, we can take parents into our side. Parents are also now new generation parents are very much educated. Only thing is that we need to explain to the parents not what we are doing, why we are doing. Once they understand once they understand that all the efforts of the school, all the efforts of the teachers, all the efforts of the principal, all the efforts of the management are meant to make our our children's stay in school a happy learning experience, parents fully stand behind us. This is what I meant to say. And when the school stands for standards, quality, and child satisfaction, it will gain goodwill in the market. Once the school gains goodwill, admissions will automatically follow. Every year, the management should not be stressed out and need not put unnecessary stress on the principal. Principal in turn need not should unnecessarily stress on the teachers. And it's cyclic process where it runs something like a FMCG products business outside the market. Increase the sales target. Increase the sales target. Sales target is coming down. Again, add. Do this one. Do that one. Do this one. We are working on the lives of children, sir. If teachers are not happy, if principal is not happy, if the management is not happy, how can these unhappy people make children's lives happier? It's a $1,000,000 question. So only happy people can make children's lives happier. So this is very, very, very important. Any takers for my views? Let's have such kind of schools. Let's all work for such kind of schools. And furthermore, kind of discussion we can have through this channel. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching my video and listening to my views. Thank you very much.